What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Ethan as always. This time I'm bringing you the second iteration of Mason Lakes Road Race. Exact same mileage, 72 miles, and course as last week. Kind of that rolling hard course. Quite a few breakaway type moves that got brought back. This week, however, the weather played a little bit of a different factor. There's about 15-mile-an-hour winds on the south side of the lake, and it would alternate between sun, like you see here, and rain and hail. I never managed to get any of that on camera, so I'm sorry about that. But generally, just dynamic. It was hard to dress, especially because it wasn't that cold. And so I was debating. I had a vest for a little bit. I had just the skin suit. Got pretty cold, but then it was also pretty warm. So definitely just played a factor into how the race shook out. It was a little bit of a lower average power, but pretty surgy because nobody wanted to do anything in the headwind. But yeah, here we are with about a quarter lap to go, 5-10 miles. And you can see that things are definitely spicing up. It's all together. No real late attacks were going. I had maybe done like one effort on the backside, but pretty similar plan to last week for us. So we had 4 riders this week. It was just me, Ben, Alex, and Rory. Same plan where we were trying to get them out into moves, covering those late attacks, and then I was going to try to save my legs for the sprint. Heading into one to go, when that rain did pick up, I tried to cover an attack, definitely spent some bullets, but overall I just been sitting in, taking it pretty easy, and just trying to save myself. But here we are with about 5Ks to go. This is what you saw in the intro. It wasn't going super fast. People were bunching up, and people go backwards, forwards, trying to get into good position. And you see here just a little overlap of the wheels. It's all it takes. Getting pushed into each other. Goes down here. I narrowly avoided it. Time slows down, locking up the rear wheel, just putting the front wheel I wanted to go. And you can't see it, but that took out about 2/3 of the field. So now it's a reduced group of about 22 people. And we're just trying to bridge up here, me and Josh. I raced Josh here last year in the 3s. A little bit of a familiar face to me, you could say. But we catch back up to this group, and a couple of the main contenders for the sprint were caught up in that, but there's definitely quite a few expediters still, Ken, and other people who are, able to mix it up in the sprint. So the race isn't over, and because there's quite a few people on the same team, I was still expecting a fair bit of organization. You'll see here, though, there are still a few late attacks of people who aren't really wanting to go to the line in a lead out. But generally, it was just kind of a hard run-in, and of course the adrenaline was still pumping, legs fatigued from trying to bridge up to that. So I was just trying to focus on finishing the race, staying safe, and hopefully trying to still get something out of it, which feels a little weird to say, knowing that people went down. At least in my head, originally I was like, that's the least of my worries. But then I thought more about it, and thinking about it doesn't help anyone. So at this point, I'm back to just focusing on the race ahead and trying to prepare for that final sprint so that I can be a factor, because that was our goal as a team, and so now it was on my shoulders to try to get what we could out of the day. So here we are, about 700 to go or something, I don't really know. I'm quite a bit farther back than I want to be, so you see I try to come around on the right hand side here out of the draft. Kind of foolish. I mean, a lot of power being put out for no places, and I probably should just sat in. At this point too, my legs were freezing cold and I couldn't really feel them. But we're heading into that last left-hand turn, about 500 to go here, and it's pretty hard. You can see quite a few people in the draft, and it's very interesting to me. Like, I never can judge how hard it is when I'm actually in the race, because the power just doesn't feel the same as like during training when you're just completely focused on it. So I'm seated here, and I'm just trying to stay in the draft. At this point, I don't even think I can contest, because I was just totally smoked. But I figure I'll just stay here, and if somebody goes, I'll go. So I get out of the saddle a little bit, but I sit back down immediately. I was just absolutely smoked. But I gave it one more little dig, came around one more guy, somebody else coming back from the lead out. So after all that, I managed to hang on to 5th place here. Not the craziest result, but one better than last week. Who knows? Maybe next race I'll get 4th place. This week definitely taught me a little bit about focusing on the race ahead, adapting to when things go a little bit wrong. For those of you who are wondering, most people were generally okay from the crash. Definitely a lot of bruises, maybe some concussions, stuff like that, but I don't think any ambulances are called. And so I think that's a good thing. Everyone was able to get off the road and get to where they needed to be. So props to the officials on being on top of that. And thank you guys for joining me for yet another race. If you have any questions, comments, make sure to let me know down below. And if you're even mildly intrigued, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. Thanks guys. Take care.